Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we will learn what is a cost sheet, and this cost sheet is for BCom, MCom, MBA, CS and CA students. Let's see what is next. Area of use. This cost sheet will be used under cost accounting in three different topics. First one will be your basic principles, second one will be your single or output costing, and the third one will be reconciliation statement. In these three areas you'll be using cost sheet. Meaning of a cost sheet: a systematic arrangement of different expenses incurred on production of an item or rendering of a service based on the nature of expense is cost sheet. So what is happening here? First we are collecting all the name of the expenses that we have spent or incurred on production of an item or in rendering of a service. We'll keep them. Then we will classify them based on the nature of those expenses, basically direct and indirect, and then we will arrange them in a systematic orderly way. And this doing so, whatever we will find out, it is called a cost sheet. Okay, it's a statement. Now expenses, let us discuss. Expenses are of two kinds. One is direct and indirect based on the nature. Direct expenses has material, labor expenses. Indirect also has material, labor expenses. Now what is the difference between direct and indirect? A very simple definition: any expenses that can be directly associated with the production of an item is direct expense, and it also has a significant value also to it. It's not that it's insignificant. It is significant that when you find out the cost per unit of that particular expenses, it looks rational. What is indirect? Any other expenses which is not directly associated with the production of an item is indirect. Okay, so we have under direct as well as indirect, we have material, labor expenses everywhere. Okay, so material, what is a direct material? Material, suppose let's take an example of a pen, manufacturing of a pen. What material do we use in manufacturing of a pen? Plastic, ink, maybe the refill. So these are your direct extra material. What is your direct labor? Those people who are directly manufacturing this pen is direct labor. And what is expenses? Direct. These are expenses which are there but cannot be taken as material or labor. One example I can give is that on that particular pen, when you are printing, is that a material? No, that can come under your direct expenses. Okay, and all these direct expenses, we call them, once we club them together, we call them prime cost. Now indirect expenses are all those expenses that are not directly involved with the production of an item. So all these material, labor and expenses which are indirect in nature are called overheads. Material, the grease for the machinery, the oil for the machinery, these are material, but they are not used in the production of the pen, but they were used for the machine that was creating the manufacturing the pen. Labor, maybe there was a guard, maybe there was a supervisor who was supervising the manufacturing process, that is your indirect labor. And expenses, there could be many expenses like lighting, heating of a factory is your expenses. Okay, so all these indirect material, labor and expenses are called overheads. Sorry, it's written overheads here, typing mistake. So these overheads which are indirect in nature, they are of three types: factory, office and selling and distribution. That's it. Factory, all the expenses which are not direct will go under factory overheads. Office, you know what are office stuff: salary, printing and stationery, accounts keeping, audit fees, director fees. There are so many office expenses like that are there. Then we have selling and distribution. Here the things are getting sold, like commission of salesmen, promotion, free samples, advertising. These are all your selling and distribution overheads. So boys and girls, your cost sheet is basically a systematic presentation of this thing only that you are seeing in the screen. Prime cost, which is material, labor and expenses, when we add them, we find the prime cost. Prime cost is completely direct in nature, and rest all are indirect in nature. We add prime cost, factory cost, office cost and selling and distribution cost to find out the cost of sales. All right, let us put all these expenses that we have discussed, those direct and indirect expenses, the prime cost and the overheads, the factory overheads, the the selling and distribution overheads and office and administrative overheads and put them into one statement and call it a cost sheet. Okay, so I'm using Excel here to show you how to prepare a cost sheet. The cost sheet has a heading, of course, cost sheet of somebody. Then it has particulars and it has amount column, at least one. The one here we'll write the total cost. Okay, we may have cost per unit also, one more column. If we divide the total production with the total cost, we'll get the cost per unit, and inner column for various addition and subtraction. So first thing what we will do, from the video we found out that first we find out the prime cost. For prime cost we have to add the direct labor, direct material and direct expenses. So let us start with the direct raw material, the material. Okay, so first we write opening stock of raw material XXX. With opening stock we add any further purchase, okay, and we will less any closing stock of raw material. So with this, whatever we get, we will get cost of raw material consumed. Now with this raw material purchase, here we can add one more thing I didn't do. Add freight charges. Freight charges also should be included with the purchase of raw material. Now if this thing is added and then you deduct the closing stock of raw material, you will get the cost of raw material consumed, the material that is directly consumed in the production of that particular item. Another thing you may need to less for calculating this is your sale of any waste. See, I'm not talking about scrap, okay, I'm talking about waste. Scrap is after when the production is over. Okay, waste may be the moment you use the product. Suppose you bought some paint, okay, from somewhere, and this paint you used, but the container in which the paint came can be your waste. So that also should be reduced or deducted from the cost of material consumed. Okay, so once you get this, let me underline it, and whatever value I'll get here is your cost of material consumed, or rather direct material. Now with this we simply have to add direct labor, okay, and direct expenses. Now only the material will have a lot of calculation, but whereas for labor and expenses it will be indirectly given, so no issue with that. So if we add these three, if we add these three, labor, material and expenses, something that I'll get is called prime cost. Okay, this is the first category of cost. I'll write it A. Okay, prime cost. We found prime cost. Let me make it bold so that you can see it. So direct cost, direct material, direct labor and direct expenses, when combined together they are called prime cost. Now below this, whatever we will write, they are all indirect costs or expenses or overheads. Now with this, with prime cost, we will add factory overheads. Factory overheads can be indirect labor, indirect material and also indirect expenses. I'm just using the short form, kindly understand. Okay, now what are these items? You have to find out on your own only, looking at the expenses that is given in the question. Okay, is it power, lighting, or are they belonging to the factory? Yes. So whatever expenses that are included in factory and which are not direct in nature will come under this portion. So now if you add factory overheads to the prime cost and less sale of scrap, you will get something called gross factory cost. Or also it is called works cost. Okay. Now with this factory cost, which are all indirect in nature, it involves work in progress also. So you have to add opening stock of WIP and less closing stock of WIP to arrive at what we call it net. I'll just copy this here first here and make the gross as net. We'll get net factory cost. Okay, this is your factory cost. This is B. This is the second cost that we are finding out. Now factory cost is done. Now next is your office and administrative and office overheads. So next will be add administrative and office. OVERHEADS overheads. Now what are office and administrative overheads? All those expenses from the PL account like printing, stationery, salary paid, office rent, office insurance, directors fees, managers fees, accountants fees, salary, all these things goes as your administrative and office overheads. So all these things will come under this particular cost. Okay, so once we add this, we will get, this will be called cost of production, like total cost that was incurred in producing the items at this particular period. Okay, cost of production. So let me give it C. Now with cost of production, there may be some items which were left out unsold. They were left unsold at the beginning and left unsold at the end of the particular period. So we will assume that at the beginning, the items which were unsold at the beginning were sold during this period, and the items at the end will be sold in the next period. So in that way we can do add opening stock of finished goods. We will add it, and less closing stock of finished goods. If we add opening stock of finished goods and less closing stock of finished goods, what we will get is your cost of goods sold. This is your another thing, that will be CD. This is number D, segregation number D. I'll put that under the box and make it bold. So we got the cost of goods sold. Okay, COS, cost of goods sold we just found. Okay, now next is the final segregation on the basis of your nature of an expense is your selling and distribution overhead. Let us add that. Add selling and OHD, selling and distribution. Let's add selling and distribution overhead, and what we will get after adding that is your cost of sales. Cost of sales is the ultimate thing. This is also, let me put DE. This is the fifth important thing that we are finding out. Bold, and let me put a box here. Cost of sales. Okay, selling and distribution expense I have already explained. They can be like commission, free distribution, sample, advertising, promotion, whatnot. So many are there. Okay, so now out of this cost of sales, that number E, if sales is given in the question, the difference between sales and cost of sales, the balancing figure will be either profit or the loss. Okay, profit will be added, loss will be minus. So I'll write plus minus. Okay, profit or loss. So boys and girls, this is how your cost sheet looks like. It's very simple. You have to understand the different types of cost on the basis of nature, that is direct and indirect. Direct is your prime cost, indirect is your factory, office and administrative, and selling and distribution. And if you are given some extra item like opening stock, closing stock of finished goods, work in progress, so there you have to type it. Okay, so this is how your cost sheet should look like and would appear. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Give a like and do comment if you have any issue with this explanation that I have given. I will definitely try to explain to you or try to make you understand, and do share the video. Thank you.